Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is good. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a really good weekend. I got to spend quite a bit of time down here working on the new bench. It is 70% there. Um, I got all the stretchers cut. Need one larger stretcher for the bottom. And then I think it's ready to be assembled. Or close. It's very close to that. But that's not what we're talking about today. Another thing happened this weekend that's really cool, and that is that my daughter Rowland won outstanding monologue at the state thespian competition, which was pretty awesome. She got to bring the trophy home, and she cried like when she showed it to us, which was really really cool. She's worked very hard for that. She's been in theater and thespians her entire time in high school, and it was, that's a big deal for her. That's what theater is what she wants out of life. Uh, you know, and so as you guys know, I took her to New York last month to visit a theater school there, a conservatory. It's not. They have a conservatory program, which is like a 2-year program, and then you could transition into a bachelor's degree program from there. But her dream is to live and work in New York. That's her big thing. She has decided to not attend that school though, and she is going to stay in state for her college, but she'll be like an hour and a half away. And so that led me to thinking a little bit about the how that how that plays out for people. What I mean is, in this area, I was the same as her. Growing up, it was, I cannot wait to get away from here. I'm going to go to a place with more opportunity, more things to do, more everything, and I'm going to have an amazing life. And I did that. I joined the Marine Corps and I did that. I went places that were much better, much bigger, much brighter, much more active. And what I found was I missed the slower paced life of here. And I ended up coming back here. I think that if you're in this area and you listen to the youth, there are none of them that want to stay. 100% of them want to leave. Maybe not. It's 95% of them are just excited to go live in someplace else, someplace where there's opportunity and there's entertainment. There's nothing here. Like in my town, I don't even know that we have a bar that does live music. I couldn't tell you if we did. I've never heard of one. I'd have to drive a half an hour north to Morgantown to see live music, which is the live music venue there is about the same size as this garage. Like it's a very small space. So there's not really entertainment here. There's not much to do, and every kid wants to get away. I was one of them. She's definitely one of them. I think for her, obviously, if you're going to be in theater, you need to be in a place where theater exists. You're not going to make it here. There's no theater here. I mean, there is. We have a theater in Morgantown and I think one in Clarksburg that does shows a couple of times a year, but you're not making a living doing that. Like, they don't make that kind of money. So for her to, and she needs to be somewhere else. But her love for New York, I believe, happened maybe not before her love of theater, but she fell in love with the city more than she fell in love with the idea of working in a theater and living in the city. She wants to just live in that city regardless of what she does for her career. And for her, that place is a place of opportunity. And so the thing that I've been thinking about is, what about people who grew up in cities? Do people who grow up in cities dream of moving away and living, in a more rural area? Is it the opposite? I feel like every place I've ever lived, I've grown tired of that place pretty quickly. Even I was stationed in Hawaii for 3.5 years, and very rapidly it became just another place I've lived. It wasn't special. There wasn't, once you've done the tourist tour of all the various locations, like, okay, now I just live on this tiny island in the middle of the Pacific, and it wasn't special anymore. And I wonder if, like, so nothing here is special until you leave here. And then you find out as an adult that there's very nice things about living here. Is that the same thing for city kids? Does city kids grow up wanting to leave the city? I feel like the answer is no. I feel like New York people are New York people, and that's their entire everything, right? And I feel like it's the same thing for their children, but I don't know for sure. I have never really talked to anybody who grew up in New York and moved away, you know. I think that from my perspective, I know people who are older and who lived in New York for a long time and were excited to leave the city, excited to move to a slower place. But just curious. I don't have a whole lot of experience. Whether it's in New York or Chicago or LA or San Francisco or maybe even Atlanta or Dallas or any of those bigger cities, do people want to get away? Do the kids talk about, I can't wait to leave this place? I would love to know. I'm really curious about that. So she's going to stay in state. Like I said, it's about an hour and a half drive, so she's not too far. And tuition is way less. And, she'll be close enough that we can provide help if she needs it or whatever. She can come back for holidays kind of stuff. Whereas if she's lived in New York, she probably wouldn't have been coming back much at all. And I also don't see her being the kid that comes back, like, very often. Like, she'll come back every couple of weekends or every, 6 months or something. She's not going to come back every weekend or every break. I see her being the person that wants her space, and I think she'll get it there. The funny part about it is the college that she's chose is a liberal arts school, and they have a very good theater program, but it's a very, like, the town around that college is extremely small. There's not anything there. So she's picking a place that is more rural than here. But our college here, their theater program is not good. Just really bad. I've been to some of their productions and they're just kind of like, okay, cool. So, good weekend. Excited to start on the bench, get finished with the bench. So hopefully soon it'll debut here and replace this. And it's going to be a little bit awkward because it's significantly lower, but we'll figure it out, I guess. What have you been up to? Did you do anything exciting this weekend? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is pusillanimous. It's an adjective meaning being mild or timid by nature, a shrinking violet, a person who seeks to avoid conflict, challenge, and danger. Frank L. Baum's most pusillanimous fictional creation is the Cowardly Lion of Oz. Pusillanimous. Pusillanimous. That's a cool word, but I'll never use it. I won't even remember how to spell that in 3 minutes.